really the modern technology that we discussed has never been applied in the Irish offshore, and they say that exploration begins again every 10 years. So really the opening of Irish exploration again is coming at a very exciting time, and I think there will be major discoveries.
If you discover oil, once you've deducted the cost of the exploration, how much does the Irish state get?
Irish fiscal terms are very favourable. Because the general rules apply, basically every loss that you have made in the same trade, as long as you've accounted for it properly, goes back to the year dot, to Adam and Eve, if they were exploring for oil and gas. So in the case of Providence, for example, if they've done their accounting correctly, they should be able to go back all the way back to Atlantic Resources, which was set up in the early 80s. That means that you can write off all the historic expenditure against tax. Now, in their case, they've probably spent $1 billion, so there'll be a lot of write-offs before they have to pay any tax. Now, if there are major discoveries, you can be sure that the Irish Exchequer will be looking again at these rules. We don't expect that Ireland is the sort of country that will actually default on its promises or breach its word. That's not going to happen. Ireland is too respectable a country for that. The state will be looking very carefully at what happens in the next year or two, and if there are major discoveries, and we all hope there are, you can be sure that the Irish Exchequer will get its snout in the trough.
That means that you won't pay any tax if you find oil, but the next person who comes along when they've heard you has found oil will probably pay some tax.
Well, we get the right to write off the tax. Now, that's actually very good, because if you look at, say, in England or Scotland, basically you can only write off your losses on the block itself in 3 contiguous blocks, and they're relatively small in the North Sea. So let's say BP has a well off of Rock Hall on the Scottish side of the line, which is a dud. They can't write that off against their production in the North Sea. So the Irish terms are actually quite favourable, which they are for most corporations. It's part of Irish industrial policy.